He's 5'8", 42 years old, serving 25 to life for armed robbery. He doesn't look intimidating. Quiet voice, doesn't raise it, reads a lot, mostly history and philosophy, helps younger inmates with legal work. To a visitor or new guard, he might seem like any other prisoner trying to make time pass. But everyone on the yard knows what he is. Shot caller for the Mexican Mafia on the Southern California facility. He controls everything that happens in 3 housing units. 1,200 inmates answer to him directly or through his lieutenants. He decides who gets protected and who gets hurt, who can work which jobs, who can use the phones and when. His word is law, in a way the warden's rules never are. And he maintains this power not through constant violence, but through the threat of violence so credible that actual violence is rarely necessary. This is how prison gangs actually work. Not the Hollywood version with tattooed giants screaming and fighting, but the quiet, bureaucratic, terrifyingly efficient organizations that govern life behind bars while the state pretends it's still in control. Prison gangs aren't street gangs that happen to operate in prison. They're distinct organizations that evolved specifically to meet the needs of inmates in environments where the state can't or won't provide protection. The major players have been around for decades. The Mexican Mafia, called La M, founded in the 1950s at Duell Vocational Institution in California. The Aryan Brotherhood started in the 1960s at San Quentin. The Black Guerrilla family, also San Quentin, 1960s. These organizations have constitutions, bylaws, rank structures as formal as any corporation. They're not spontaneous. They're institutions. The shot caller's path to power took 15 years. He joined La M in his late 20s, sponsored by an older member who'd known his family outside. The initiation was violent. He had to commit an assault on a designated target to prove his willingness to follow orders and accept consequences. He spent 6 months in administrative segregation after that assault. When he returned to general population, he was made a full member. But membership doesn't mean power. It means you're now part of a structure where power must be earned through years of reliability, intelligence, and strategic violence. He started as a soldier. This meant carrying out orders from higher-ranking members, assaults mostly, debt collection, enforcement actions against inmates who violated gang rules or disrespected the organization. The work was dangerous. Fights with rival gangs, dealing with unpredictable inmates, navigating guards who sometimes tolerated gang violence and sometimes cracked down, depending on politics and publicity. But he was good at it. Never got caught with contraband. Never talked to investigators. Did his time in the hole without complaining. This reliability got noticed. After 5 years as a soldier, he was promoted to lieutenant. This meant managing other soldiers, planning operations rather than just executing them, serving as intermediary between shot callers and the rank and file. He learned the economics of prison gangs during this period. The drug trade, which generates the most money. The protection rackets, which create steady income. The store system, where gangs operate underground commissaries, selling items at markup. He learned that successful gang leadership is more accounting than violence. You need to know who owes what, who's reliable, who's skimming, who needs to be disciplined. Spreadsheets would help, but spreadsheets are evidence. So everything lives in memory or in coded notes that look meaningless to outsiders. The previous shot caller on his yard was stabbed by the Aryan Brotherhood in 2015 during a territorial dispute. The assassination created a vacancy. 3 lieutenants competed for the position. 2 advocated for immediate retaliation, find an AB shot caller and kill him to send a message. Our shot caller proposed something different. He suggested a negotiated peace with territorial boundaries clearly defined. His argument: constant war with the ABs was expensive in terms of bodies and money, created instability that hurt business, and gave guards excuse to lock down the yard, which hurt everyone. The other two lieutenants called him weak. But the higher-ups outside the prison, the shot callers in other facilities, who make up La M's governing body, agreed with him. His appointment was confirmed through a coded letter that arrived disguised as legal mail. The first months as shot caller were delicate. He had to establish authority without appearing weak, maintain peace with rival gangs without appearing to surrender, and manage internal challenges from inmates who thought he should be more aggressive. His first major decision involved a soldier who'd stolen drugs intended for sale. Traditional punishment was severe assault or death. He chose different approach, forced the soldier to work off the debt through labor, and barred him from any future drug operations. The soldier lived but lost status. The message was effective. Theft would be punished, but punishment would be calculated. This reputation for proportional response made people want to work with him rather than against him. Daily life as shot caller is bureaucratic. Morning starts with reports from lieutenants about overnight events. Did anyone get into fights? Are there new inmates who need to be recruited or evaluated? Are there problems with supplies or conflicts with other gangs? He makes decisions based on these reports. Approve or deny protection requests. Authorize or forbid business operations. Settle disputes between members. The work is management. The tools are violence and the threat of violence. But the actual work is problem solving, negotiation, and long-term strategic planning. Communication with the outside is crucial. Prison gangs don't stop at prison walls. They have extensive networks outside that handle drug trafficking, money laundering, and coordination between facilities. Our shot caller communicates with outside leadership through coded phone calls, letters, and messages passed through visiting family members. The codes are sophisticated. A discussion about sports scores might actually be instructions for drug shipments. A letter about a sick relative might be detailing a plan for an assassination. Guards intercept and analyze this communication constantly, so the codes evolve continuously. The financial scale is significant. A single shot caller in a major facility might control operations generating $500,000 annually. This money doesn't flow through him personally. He's in prison with no use for cash, but his family outside benefits. His mother's mortgage gets paid. His kids go to good schools. His girlfriend lives comfortably. This creates loyalty. It also creates vulnerability. Authorities target gang members' families to pressure cooperation. If they threaten to seize your mother's house unless you testify, suddenly your position becomes more complicated. The relationship between gangs and prison administration is paradoxical. Officially, gangs are enemy number one. Gang validation leads to enhanced security placement, loss of privileges, extended time in isolation. But unofficially, gangs make prisons manageable. They maintain order within their populations. They control violence, so it's predictable rather than random. They run services that the state doesn't provide. Many correctional officers quietly prefer dealing with organized gangs over chaotic individual inmates. If you need to shut down violence on a yard, you talk to shot callers. They can stop fights faster than any guard response team. This unofficial cooperation creates moral ambiguity. The state simultaneously fights and relies on the organizations it claims to oppose. The violence, when it happens, is instrumental rather than emotional. A shot caller orders an assault, not because he's angry, but because the organizational structure requires demonstrating consequences for rule violations. The violence serves communication function. It tells everyone watching that certain behaviors produce certain results. This makes it terrorism in the technical sense. Violence used to create fear that influences behavior. But it's terrorism in service of an organization trying to create order in an environment where the state has failed to create order itself. The psychological toll of this role is rarely discussed. Our shot caller has ordered violence that resulted in serious injuries and at least 2 deaths. He lives with this. Sometimes he questions whether the power is worth the moral cost. But he's serving 25 to life with no possibility of parole until he's 67. The gang gives him purpose, status, the ability to help his family. Without it, he's just another inmate counting time. With it, he's someone who matters. That mattering comes at a price measured in other people's suffering. But in prison, every form of mattering comes at someone's expense. If you want to understand more about how power really works in prisons, subscribe to Prison Diaries. Because prison gangs aren't just criminal organizations, they're governments. Parallel systems of authority that operate alongside official structures and often more effectively. Understanding them means understanding how institutions fail and how humans create new institutions to fill the voids.